What's up, everybody? My name is Shopper, or in the Discord I go by Permagrin. It's the name of my character, and today I just wanted to put in video form my feedback and the results I've had playing with the Bloodless Scream Necromancer Unique. There's a lot of variations that I still need to test. This build is very much a work in progress, so expect more updates like this. In the background, you're going to see me go over my gear real quick. You'll see me going through a tier 30 Nightmare Dungeon and solo Varshan, which is nothing crazy, but it's just reference for as I play. So obviously we're going to be using Bloodless Scream. I got super lucky on my first Varshan kill, and I got this behemoth at 916 item power. But what does it do? So it's got intelligence on it. I rolled max on my darkness skill damage. It increases your damage to chilled enemies, and it gives you a giant amount of cold resist. The real important part of this is its unique text, obviously, which says, your darkness skills chill enemies for up to 100% and deal 20 to 50% increased damage to frozen enemies. It's also got a lucky hit proc on it that says your darkness skills have up to 100% chance to generate 7 to 10 extra essence when they hit a frozen enemy. So what does this mean for us? How do we use this in our build? What does it mean that your darkness skills chill for up to 100%? So this item was updated in patch 1.2, and it used to say that your darkness skills chill enemies for up to 40%, and the rest of the text was the same. The only thing that I can assume this means is that previously your darkness skills could only apply a cumulative 40% out of the needed 100% to freeze an enemy, because freeze works like kind of a hidden status bar. Now your darkness skills can freeze all on their own, but that also raises some more questions, like how do darkness skills apply chill? What is the percentage that they chill by? Does each darkness skill have its own chill percentage? And these are things that I've been testing. What I've found is that most of your darkness skills have lower than a 15 to 10% chill percentage, and you really don't get to freeze that often unless you're also using a combination of things like Penitent Greaves or the Coldbringer's aspects with your mages casting blizzards. So what I'm focusing on in this version of the build is just capitalizing on the fact that everything I touch is going to be chilled and therefore CC'd, and occasionally a freeze is great, but I'm not going to count on that in terms of my damage. On my boots, I'm using Ghostwalkers at the moment, but this could also be changed to Flicker Step or to Penitent Greaves, depending on what I'm trying to test out. On my pants, I'm running Disobedience, just for that extra defensive. You can see that the stats are terrible. On my gloves, I've decided to go with Blighted, just for that extra Shadow Blight tick damage. My chest is Aspect to the Void because we're comboing it with Bone Prison, and on my helmet we've got Shielding Storm, which is just some synergy. We're kind of going all in on the Chilling Bone Storm right now. My necklace, I'm running Ultimate Shadow for that extra 50% bonus to the Bone Storm, and that also has some synergies with the build. My ring number 1 is going to be the Osseous Gale, and my second ring is going to have Plunging Darkness on it. So you can see that we're kind of going for this Bone Storm, Bone Prison, CC combo, Blight, all this stuff is what we're going for. In my Book of the Dead, I am sacrificing Reapers for the 15% increased shadow damage. I am also sacrificing Mages right now for the 15% vulnerable damage, which is coming from the Bone Prison. And I'm sacrificing the Golem for the extra max health right now, which is just because I'm kind of low on defensives. If I roll better on my pants and my other aspects, it'll be great. So let's look at the skill tree. I'm running Decompose with just 1 point in Enhanced Decompose. I'm not really using basic skills that often in the build. We're also taking 5 points in Blight with a little bit of the slow and the extra damage. We're taking Hewed Flesh. We're taking Blighted Corpse Explosion, all the ranks we can in Blood Mist for the defensive, and obviously Enhanced Bone Prison and Ghastly Bone Prison. Then we're taking Death's Embrace. We're also taking Death's Reach. We're taking all these darkness passives that we can. We're really not going for the lucky hit on Crippling Darkness. I think it's kind of fake. And in this bottom tree, we're taking Bone Storm, Prime Bone Storm, Supreme Bone Storm, Standalone and Memento Mori, and obviously Shadow Blight because we're a dot build. Let's look at the Paragon real quick. My Paragon is obviously also a work in progress. I'm missing this max life here, but I'm just hitting all the damage that I can at the moment. Using Scourge, going up here to Malediction. We're going to put Control in because everything is constantly chilled. Getting some shadow damage, getting some shadow damage over time, damage reduction. Getting Wither, and then over on this left board, we're getting some more defensives, some vulnerable damage, shadow resist. All of this will be updated in the build guide if you want to go have a look. It's obviously a work in progress, and it is definitely not optimized at level 75. Let's look at the Vampiric powers. I've got Prey on the Weak for the vulnerable damage, Accursed Touch for that lucky hit and Vampiric Curse, Flowing Veins just because it works great in dot builds. We've got Anticipation to keep Bone Storm off cooldown and because it inherently works with our dots, and Resilience just for some defensives at the moment. I've also thought about changing this out for Metamorphosis, and I'm also kind of looking at Domination, but again, Domination really doesn't give us that much because we're not freezing stuff as often as we'd like. So let's head into the gameplay, and I'll talk about the build as you guys watch. So while we watch this Nightmare Dungeon, I've reiterated this in my forum post and the changelog, but you do feel kind of completely immortal while you have Bone Storm up in this build. You're getting so many damage over time amplifications and so many amplifications from the Vampiric powers and the gear from things being chilled all the time that you're pretty much unstoppable. Bone Prison also kind of helps supplement it, but as you see right here, I don't really have any cooldowns up, and I still kind of just melt everything. Even my basic auto is ticking for like 18k right now, and Bone Storm's back up. We really don't even have to touch anything, we just run by it and it dies to our dots. You can see facing a big pack here, get him vulnerable, get him in the shadow dot, and that chill is just going to boost our damage. So, like I said, you really don't get to see people. This guy gets frozen, but, you know, out of the 50 enemies I've killed, that's the first guy to get frozen. So I really don't see the point in budgeting my power into things being frozen if mostly everything is dead before it ever gets frozen. And once again, we're kind of just waiting for a big pack here. We're going to pop Bone Storm and everything is going to explode. Throw the Bone Prison down, let this vulnerable and Vampiric Curse spread, and we just keep running around. You're pretty strong. It's pretty easy, carefree. Just hit Bone Storm, walk through everything. And I don't think that it can be discounted how much you get from just that damage to chilled enemies constantly being up. I mean, it procs off of literally every skill on our bar. I just wish we had a little bit more defensive or CDR so that we're never left with these gaps in our rotation, because that's going to make higher Nightmare Dungeons down the road kind of hard to deal with. But you can see there, I kill those guys without popping any of my buttons, and it's pretty easy. So right here, we're going to go into the boss room, and Bone Storm is going to be about halfway down when we go in, but you can see we still do fine damage for something that's nearly 10 levels over us. It's relatively easy, but this is what I'm talking about with the chill percentage being extremely low. This guy has been in my darkness skills the entire time, and he's not even a quarter staggered by the time he dies. So again, I really don't see the point in playing into it. I think you just take the extra damage from all the CC synergies and you just play a dot build that gets free damage amps. Some other things that I've been looking at is maybe running Frostburn gloves to get those freezes more often, using Penitent Greaves, and eventually down the line changing to Coldbringer's Aspect to see what it's like if we get freezes more often. I don't see it being much of a necessity unless we're in super high Nightmare Dungeons where CC is that important, because for right now I think I could push anywhere that I really wanted to and just hit Bone Storm and evaporate everything. Alright, next thing is you're going to see me fight Varshan, and if you're a pro gamer, I'm going to ask you to avert your eyes because this is a rough fight and this guy beats me up really bad, and you're going to see some of the struggles of the build, especially when my cooldowns are down. I'm super squishy, I'm running for my life, and it definitely has issues that could be solved both with better gear rolls and better Paragon board and some other optimizations that would make me more survivable. But as you can see, I'm just running around. I'm scared for my life. And that is the current state of the build. If you guys are going to play this build, I would ask that you please, join the forum and let me know your thoughts on it, because I'm super happy to make tweaks to it, especially if other people have feedback. And, next week or in a few weeks, I'll put another update out with what I think the best version of this build is after I've had time to play it with the Cold Mages, with Frostburn, and with Penitent Greaves. Alright guys, peace out, have a good night, see ya.